the NDP and how they ended up losing so many votes and where those votes went to. So, Nik, we're going to talk about vote efficiency. What does that mean for our audience?
Well, you have to think of it this way, Heather. The thing is there's popular support, and the thing is that the number of seats you can generate with the votes that you have, the more efficient that you are, the more likely you are to win an election. In this particular campaign, those smaller parties, the NDP and the Bloc, just have been crushed by both the Liberals and the Conservatives.
And let's head to southwestern Ontario. We're giving you a map, a visual representation of what Judy Trinh was just talking about. The fact that the Conservatives have really swept this riding, or excuse me, this region. And this is, as she mentioned, a place where there's a lot of manufacturing jobs. The auto sector is a huge employer in this region.
Yeah,
Nik.
an absolute breakthrough for the Poilievre Conservatives in southwestern Ontario. And if you remember when at the beginning of the night we were talking about races that were too close to call, it was in this particular region. And what it shows is that the Conservative campaign was able to punch above its weight, explains why it was able to pick up a significant number of seats in Ontario and help them close the gap with the Liberals.
Okay, let's head towards the Kitchener area. Nik, I want to look at this riding. Kitchener Centre, the Conservatives in the lead by 781 votes there over the Green incumbent, Nik.
Yeah, and great news for the Conservatives here, and for the Greens, they don't have a lot of seats to start off with, and losing, Kitchener Centre is a significant setback for a party that's trying to make a breakthrough, and actually a party that's really struggling right now.
And Nik, I just want to point out, because we are talking about the NDP in last place in this riding with just 625 votes.
Yeah, and think of it this way. There are a lot of university students around there, so the fact that the Greens are losing this seat, the NDP are not doing well, is really indicative of what's happening tonight.
Okay, let's take a look at Kitchener-Conestoga. Two-horse race here, Nik. The Conservatives in the lead by 592 votes over the Liberal incumbent.
This probably speaks to the organization of the ground on that the Conservative campaign has in terms of them challenging to unseat the Liberal incumbent in Kitchener-Conestoga.
Okay, and Nik, let's talk about vote efficiency. That is what we were talking about earlier, about getting out the vote. Just walk us through this. The Conservatives doing quite well.
So, yeah, think of it this way. With 49% of the votes in southwestern Ontario, they won a whopping 83% of the seats. It speaks to the effective targeting, probably the tour of Pierre Poilievre in southwestern Ontario, and how he's able to convert, a certain number of 49% into like a majority, 8 out of every 10 seats in southwestern Ontario. And you look at the Liberals, not being as efficient in terms of converting their support into seats.
We really see that, Nik, especially when we talk about getting out the vote and how they are campaigning across the country. So if we look at the vote value nationally, it's very similar to the polling information, Nik.
Yeah, it is. Except if you're the New Democrats. Think of it this way. They only converted, their percentage by 1/3, like 6% to 2% in terms of percentage of seats. It shows how inefficient the New Democrats were.
Certainly a very big story unfolding this evening with the New Democrats, and it is seen right there on that vote efficiency.